What's up, everybody? I hope Sword of Convallaria is treating you well and everybody's enjoying the game. Today we're going to take some time to look at weapons, and we're going to break them down into a tier list as well as go over a little bit of a guide on how those weapons can benefit you, your team, and impact your gameplay. And so I do that by breaking these weapons down by 3 metrics, and those metrics are accessibility, viability, and utility. You may be familiar with this based on how I've done my other tier lists on my channel. If you aren't, I urge you to go check them out. Leave me your feedback. Please bear in mind, all of this is my opinion. If you catch any errors or you disagree with me, get down in the comments, let me know. And with that said, let's get right into it. So the first item on the list is going to be the AntiMagic Axe. And so this is an epic item that at 5 stars has a 100% chance to dispel 2 buffs on the target with a 1-turn cooldown. Now, this is great and it's easy to 5-star, however, it's going to be outright replaced later by the tuning hammer, which I'll go over later. With that said, I find that this item isn't very desirable, especially in-game. It might get you through your early game, but I mean, it falls off the second you get that thing. So, for me, I put this in tier 5. Next up is going to be the balanced heavy axe, and so this is another epic item. At 5 stars, when healthy, your attack is increased up to 12%. For me, this isn't very great. You have to be healthy, which often your frontliners struggle to do, and so this thing falls off, and that 12% damage it's not as great as some of the items you get later on. So it's very easily replaced and doesn't have a lot of utility, and especially longevity. So for me, this item is tier 5. Next up is going to be the Brutal Axe, and so this is a legendary axe that at 5 stars increases your HP by 10% when attacking. If the enemy's HP percentage is higher than the character's, it ignores 40% of the target's defense. And so this axe depends on you to be hurt and on lower HP than your opponents to really shine. However, to shred through that defense is pretty significant, and on characters that generally end up with low HP or hurt, like Alexi as a good example, this really can shine. And so for me, this item has some unique utility, and I have had fun using it in different ways. I'd rank it tier 1. Next up is going to be the Cornucopia Axe, and so this is a legendary axe that at 5 stars, when you start the turn, if the character is healthy, there's an 80% chance to recover 2 energy. If the character is dying, there's an 80% chance to recover 30% HP with a 2-turn cooldown. Now, this is a phenomenal weapon, and everybody loves to get energy, especially everybody loves to get HP back when they're low. However, getting this item is not easy. You have to pay real money in order to get this item. As of right now, there's no other way to get it, and so if you're buying that Sword of Convallaria Battle Pass equivalent in that Cornucopia Pass, then you're going to be able to get access to this item. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do it, and then you're still limited to that item once per month. And so getting it to 5 stars requires you to play consistently and to buy that pass 5 times. And so for me, this is a very niche item. It's not tremendously great. However, if you do go for it and you are spending and you don't mind it, it does a very good job. So for that reason, I'm going to put it tier 1. Next up is going to be the Denial Hammer, and so this is a legendary hammer, and at 5 stars, when charging, deals 25% more damage. If the target who have lower HP than the characters are knocked back, it pushes them back 1 additional tile. So this is pretty great for characters that can charge, obviously, because you're getting that flat damage percentage up. However, to be able to knock enemies back with lower HP than yours, 1 additional tile is also pretty powerful. It's great for knocking enemies off ledges and off the terrain and off the maps, and it has some potential to work in PvP in that way as well. It's a little bit niche, so that does hurt its rating. However, I would still place this item at tier 2. Next up is Feast Axe, and so this is a legendary axe. At 5 stars, if the target's HP percentage is lower than the character's when attacking, it increases their attack by 20%. The character recovers 35% HP when defeating an enemy with a 1-turn cooldown. Awesome. So this item has a lot of utility in boss fights because more often than not that boss is going to have lower HP percentage than those characters that are hitting them, because you don't want them sitting injured, otherwise they're susceptible to dying. More often than not boss fights one-shot you and so on and so forth. And then also you're getting the highest attack bonus you're going to get out of any axe on this item, even though you have to have that one requirement in order to get it. It's not hard to achieve. And in those fights where there's lots of enemies, we all know there's lots of ways to get their HP down. Whether you have somebody with AoE that does a little bit of damage, all it takes is literally 1 HP from an enemy in order for them to have a lower percentage than you, and boom, 20% extra damage. And then you can't beat getting HP back when you kill an enemy. It's really, really good and powerful on those frontline units while they're out there doing their work. It keeps them hardy and resilient and keeps them going. Can't say enough good things about this axe, so for that reason, I'm putting it tier 0. Next up is the Formidable Axe. This is an epic item. When attacking from Highland, your crit rate is increased up to 25% at 5 stars. However, creating that Highland advantage is not easy to do. It's an incredibly niche situation, niche item that I haven't yet to really be able to fully utilize and see any great reason in investing into it and to use it often. In game, I can't really see it. Maybe we get a ranged axe user, I don't know. Regardless, as of right now, unfortunately this item doesn't really do a lot for you. Nobody's really using it from what I can see online either, and that's why I've struggled to even find a good art to utilize in this video. With that said, I rank this at tier 5. Next up is the Hollow Axe. This is a legendary axe that at 5 stars increases your defense to 10%. You gain physical attack equal to 10% of your physical defense and magic defense at the start of battle. It's a phenomenal axe. This axe gives you the best defensive stats out of all the axes, and it's boosting your physical attack off of that defense. So this is phenomenal for your tanks because you're getting that great defense up, and then that physical attack is just a nice little bonus for those tanks. Now, if you're worried about your damage dealers and them not being resilient enough, this is the option. This gives them some more resilience, and it still boosts their attack and does a job. However, this axe, for that reason, isn't as good as some of the other options in my opinion on damage dealers. So for me, I would place this axe in tier 0.5. The last axe, or hammer if you will, on the list is going to be your tuning hammer. This is a legendary item at 5 stars. It increases your physical attack by 10% and dispels 2 buffs from the target before attacking, before being the key word there. And so this is a really, really powerful axe, really, really good. Dispelling buffs isn't something that's always needed, however it is something that is always powerful. And that 10% flat attack boost, no matter the situation, no matter what's going on, is also a huge asset with this axe, making it really good for your damage dealers. Can't say enough good things about this axe. It is very powerful and very good, and for that reason I would rank it tier 0. Now, before moving on, I have to make mention of the 2 rare axes, and that's Battle Hardened Axe and the Heavy Iron Axe. They are not worth investing in my opinion, and so you should save your resources. If you have them and you don't have other options, just hold out. You're going to get other options very quickly. That means you're very new to the game. Otherwise, you're just incredibly unlucky in my opinion. I'm not sure what the case might be. They're not worth investing in, however, at all, from what I can see and tell, and in my opinion. With that said, I hope you appreciated my tier list and or guide for axes / hammers. I will be doing all the weapons. Please check out my tier list on the channel. Have a look at them. Let me know what you think. Get down in the comments. Tell me if this has helped you, if you disagree with me, what you think of these weapons and how they benefited you and how you use them. I want to hear all of it, and I do my best to respond to everybody. Thank you so much for all the support. I really appreciate everyone, and I hope you have a good time in Sword of Convallaria. See you later. Bye.